to 1979. Tennessee. Well, we've been here since Wednesday, partner. This is what it's all about right now.
Absolutely. The Big Blue Nation again fills up the Georgia Dome, and talked about it yesterday, and I think this young Kentucky team has fed off this crowd. This is not the season ticket holders. This is the core of the Big Blue Nation that has made their way south. And they're trying to take down the nation's best team. Brad, remember the last two times these two teams met last weekend, Kentucky at one point went on a 15-0 run. You know, Billy Donovan has showed his guys that part of the film.
Ron Gruber, Doug Shouse, and Tony Green, who tipped it off for us, our officials. And Kentucky in the front court first. Randall had it knocked out of his hand. Still Kentucky ball.
Airtight man-to-man defense by Florida. And their zone is just as tight pressure on the ball.
Aaron Harrison into his brother. Right back to Aaron. Had the big day yesterday. Missed an opening three there. Frazier straight up with a triple for Florida.
Yeah, well, you've got to know where Frazier is at all times, Brad. He is a catch-and-shoot specialist. And the opening defensive possession for the young Kentucky team, they don't identify the best shooter in the building.
You get knocks it away from Randall. James Young's first touch in traffic. Put back up by Dakari Johnson. And no go for Kentucky that trip. Scotty Wilbekin. He's going to try a three. In and out. Kept alive. And they'll reset.
Well, Florida really alert, though, to start this game. They've already ran some drag screen action. They used very good shot fakes, making Kentucky work early at all 5 spots.
Yaget's wide open for a triple. He's not a three-point shooter.
That's the shot Kentucky wants Florida to take, and Yaget didn't have the discipline to turn it down.
Randall, he's going to try from long range. Way off. Both teams taking some uncharacteristic shots on the last couple of trips. Florida's defense, sometimes it looked like there's 6 guys out there.
Or 7.
Johnson from the free throw line. Comes right back to him. And now he muscles up too much. And an offensive foul.
Brad, Florida's first shot defense is good enough to win this game double figures. Their second shot defense, though, is going to decide this basketball game. Dakari Johnson takes it right in the chest of Yaget. That's an easy call to make. And can Florida get enough game-winning rebounds off the defensive board for the next 2 hours?
Today's game also available. ESPN 3 Surround. It's new, exclusive. And so is Michael Frazier's three-pointer. ESPN 3, you've got unique camera angles, audio feeds, crowd cams in support of ESPN's biggest games, including the one we have right now that has.
Well, Florida, Brad, they've done a good job in their transition game offensively, and their half court getting that ball in the pro slot to free up Frazier for his second good look.
And you don't want him to be on fire early because he may never cool off.
If you don't make hard cuts against Florida, you will not get open in scoring spots in this game. And will this young Kentucky team adjust to that within the game? So far, they have not.
Right now, Kentucky's whole offense is moving Young and nobody else. And finally, they get the outside jumper for Andrew Harrison.
The two brothers were really good yesterday. Andrew Harrison with 9 assists. A lot of those went to his brother Harrison, a career high in assists.
Young is going to be fouled on the shot by Johnson, and that's 2 in a hurry on Dakari Johnson.
Brad, I want to go back to Frazier's second three-point shot in this game. Scotty Wilbekin has this set up in the pro slot. Going to receive a ball screen, but that angle, that 45-degree angle, is so difficult to defend, especially when you spread shooters out around it. That pro 45 spread pick and roll action with shooters is the single most difficult thing to cover in the basketball game right now.
Patrick Young at the free throw line. with his first points, and Johnson's got to go to the bench with 2 early fouls. Patrick Young, the senior out of Jacksonville. This is his 145th game in that Gator uniform. 2-time academic All-American, on top of being a heck of a basketball player. Got 1 of 2. 7-2 Florida.
Brad, this Florida team, they cover each other up better than anyone else I've seen in the college game. They make a mistake, and the trust factor built in behind is at a high level.
Young off balance, hits the deck as he hits the shot.
You're going to have to probably make 3 or 4 guarded shots per half against this juggernaut defensive squad.
Here's Prater. Down low to Young. Young got his own miss, got rejected by Cauley Stein, and it went off Kentucky. Florida will have the ball under their own basket.
Brad, interesting. You see Patrick Young struggle to score off of an offensive putback. Florida is only making 48% from the field in terms of putback offense. That's not a high enough number. That thing needs to get 55% or above going in the NCAA tournament.
So Randall sits and Young sits. 2 big guys off the floor for each team. But of course, Kentucky can bring in Cauley Stein. He's actually taller than Randall. Frazier got his man in the air. Sets and fires. 3 for 3.
Brad, you cannot lose your discipline if you're Harrison Gardner, a lethal shooter. He's going to ball fake you, stay on the floor, and make him do something off the bounce. Frazier yesterday did not make a 3-point shot till 9 minutes to go in the game to follow up your point about this guy getting off early. Frazier off of a tight curl. Wilbekin delivers it in perfect rhythm. The shot fake, the release, and the rotation, and the result.
Poitras in the lineup for Kentucky. Young, who hit the last shot, is going to try to drive and lob to Cauley Stein.
Maybe that's the counter that Kentucky has for the pressure, making plays over the top of a smaller Florida ball club.
That 3 won't go for Finney Smith. And here comes Kentucky with a chance to cut it to 1. They'll try from the free throw line. Second foul on Casey Hill. Timeout, 15:27.
Florida from a lot of ball clubs across the country, even over the last few years. I'm not sure if Florida has a guaranteed pro in their starting 5. But you know what? They don't have one guy that's worried about being a pro. And that kind of sums up to me the Florida Gator team this year. 4 really cool seniors that are playing for wins and playing for defense and making winning plays. That's what they are consumed with.
Harrison at the free throw line. Andrew Harrison, that is. 76% free throw shooter. Ripped them both. 1-point game.
1-3-1 by Kentucky, and it's a long 1-3-1 with 6'6" being the smallest up top with one of the Harrison twins. You must ball fake it, and you must punch gaps when you have an opportunity.
There's a gap. Wilbekin kicks it back out to Hill. They want to get it to Frazier and see if he can keep the hot hand going. Wilbekin wide open. Doesn't miss too many of those. Cauley Stein with a rebound.
I think John Calipari likes what he saw out of his first 1-3-1 look.
Kentucky for the lead. Nope. You get on the rebound. Frazier's going to pull up and take it. Heat check, and he knows he's on fire.
Well, and that's on Kentucky right now. You know that Frazier is one of the best 3-point shooters in all of college ball, and you're letting him get loose in transition. Your pickup point must be a step or 2 higher against a guy this good.
Poitras slipped a little bit now at the elbow. He's going to take it and score.
A key guy off the bench for John Calipari, not only today, but starting next weekend. Brad, he has to be that 8, 9 point, 4 or 5 rebound guy every time.
Finney Smith, nice dish to Yeget. And tied up by Poitras. Good plays on both ends by Alex Poitras, the sophomore out of Clarksville, Tennessee.
What Kentucky do, Brad, what they can do is mash you around the rim, really on both ends of the floor. their layup defense. Kentucky's layup defense is outstanding.
Still Florida ball by the possession era, despite the great play by Poitras. Wilbekin, bounce pass to Young. Again rejected, this time by Randall.
And again, layup defense by Kentucky, as good as we have in the college game.
Randall kicks it out. Harrison with a pull-up. Frazier with a rebound.
But Kentucky's moving the ball. They're playing loose. They're playing fast.
Not a good pass. Maybe it would have been if you didn't have the long arms of Cauley Stein on the way. Frazier has another rebound. Wilbekin. Prather up and under.
The read by Wilbekin in traffic to slow himself down and wait for the cutter to get to the rim. Had he punched it and gone to another gear, Brad, he gets the passing spot before the cutter is at the rim. Very smart play by Wilbekin.
7 minutes in, Florida by 4. Andrew Harrison on top with 10 to shoot.
Anytime Kentucky's standing, that's not good offense. They guard themselves still as a young ball club.
Now it's 3 to shoot. Poitras is going to have to get it up if he gets it at all. And will snatch off the miss.
The ball wasn't hot. It didn't get to the third side of the floor. Advantage Florida.
Well, they get Frazier a touch. There it is, but he's going to take it anyway. Wow, he almost hit it. Harrison to Harrison. Aaron on the drive, drew the foul.
Partner, it's not easy to get transition points against the Florida Gators. Their transition defense this year, they only give up 8.8 points per game in transition. And Kentucky has to get all 8, 9, or 10 of those they can in this ball game.
Here's a guy that was red hot early yesterday in the win over Georgia. Had 22 points on the afternoon. Aaron Harrison. Little better free throw shooter than his brother, in fact. 79% for him. And he knocks it down. Day you've been waiting for. Coming up, 5:30 Sports Center provides wall-to-wall coverage of the brackets as they're announced. At 7, our experts will break it all down. 2 hours of bracketology. Who's in, whose bubble's already burst, who's going to make a run maybe to the Final Four. Selection Sunday on ESPN and also live on Watch ESPN. Coming up when we're done today.
Just in the last 2 days in Atlanta, from Kentucky, I've seen fewer and fewer tired possessions, fewer and fewer AAU possessions. What do I mean by that? They're not giving up on plays on either end. They played with a lot more energy, and they're playing a lot more team ball. November, December, January, I couldn't say that about this Kentucky team.
Good point. Whaler. Again, he's not the guy you want taking the outside jump shots, and I think Billy Donovan's going to let him know that at some point. Randall picks up the foul. With 11:59 remaining in the first half. John Calipari, why?
He's Michael Frazier, Brad. He's a catch-and-shoot specialist. He's shooting an adjusted field goal percentage of 62% on guarded shots when you put the value of a three-point shot in. He's shooting an adjusted field goal percentage of 72% on unguarded shots. That's all you need to know. Now, that made jump shot that he took off the bounce, that's only his 24th jump shot this year off the bounce. He's a catch-and-shoot guy. Kentucky has to tag him, caboose him, hot hand him on the catch, and force him to do something off the bounce in this ball game.
The two-pointer that he hit, he took one dribble and a ball fake, a shot fake to get his man in the air, so he doesn't do a lot of dribbling.
Not at all. That's not his game. He's a specialist, and that will be his next level of development in the offseason with Billy Donovan and his staff.
So Florida will have it under their own basket. Right now it's Young, Casey Hill, Casey Prather, Michael Frazier, and the guy bringing it in, Finney Smith. So Scotty Wilbekin on the bench right now. Patrick Young up off the window.
Well, the power and strength and quickness of Patrick Young. I'll tell you what, Patrick Young has average hands. He has an average touch, but he has a phenomenal will to win and an attitude. Phenomenal. Here
he is defensively on Randall. And foul is on Patrick Young.
Patrick Young told me yesterday before the ball game, so I'm a senior, been to 3 straight Elite Eights. I'm going to play this tournament like a walk-on freshman trying to earn a scholarship. Think about that statement from Patrick Young. He gets it.
He's been fun to watch develop over the 4 years we've done their games, that's for sure. And quick delay here for James Young.
Tying those shoes you like.
Yeah, I love those shoes. Actually don't. That's not the right color blue. At any rate. Harrison comes out, looks over to Coach Calipari, who's not looking his way. Thinks he better set the play himself.
Brad, you can hear a good defensive team, and you also can hear a bad defensive team. You can hear Florida pointing and talking. One of the reasons why they're special.
Randall from the free throw line.
John Calipari 2 weeks ago challenged Julius Randle to start being more of a playmaker around the elbow area and not just flat out bully people for 2 hours.
Young spins on Cauley-Stein, and they're going to say that he wrapped him around with the elbow. That's going to be a second foul in the last minute or so, and he's going to have to come out. That changes the complexion of things.
Absolutely it does, Brad, because Florida does not have a lot of depth in their front line, and that's what I'm talking about with Julius Randle. Faces up, doesn't just try to bully through Patrick Young, and becomes a playmaker and a shot taker from 15 feet.
Will Uget came in for Patrick Young, but again, that takes away the muscle underneath for Florida's defense.
Well, don't you pound it inside right now if you're Kentucky? Absolutely you do.
Let's see if that's their thought pattern. Jared Paulson, the senior, in there. Double team on Randall. Young got a quick opening. Missed the shot. Finney-Smith with the rebound.
You see the scrape down on Randall, though. That's what Florida does. They trap the ball off the post to save their foul trouble situation.
AC Hill, outside jumper, got it. That's always a nice addition when he can score 5 or 6 or 8. He had 5 yesterday, 7 the day before.
Brad, their bench was not good yesterday, Billy Donovan's bench, and it was outstanding against Kentucky the last time they played. Talking to that Florida staff today, they said their bench is a huge key today. They must produce.
Harrison missed off the glass. Wilbekin brings it down, scanning the field. Gets it to Uget, and Uget to Prather, and somehow he hung in the air long enough to get that to drop.
Brett, your description of Scotty Wilbekin is spot on. Scanning the floor as he brought that thing up on a controlled dribble. He knew where all other 9 guys were. Look at his eyes. He feels the pressure from behind. He doesn't even have to see it. He can feel it, but he's reading everyone else. Again, the punch of the basketball towards the paint. He finds Prather on the wing, and the eye control and the eye discipline of Scotty Wilbekin is on display.
He should get half of the assist on that one. And Prather caps off the 3-point play. So Casey Prather has 5, gets a pat on the backside from his coach as Florida has expanded their lead to 7.
And Scotty Wilbekin, a perfect example for all point guards out there. If you want to be noticed by the next level, whatever your next level is, make sure your team wins basketball games. That's what Scotty Wilbekin does.
May or may not be in the NBA, but he'll continue playing basketball someplace. I'll tell you that much.
Absolutely.
Again, Kentucky content to not start their offense till about 15 seconds. Here's Randall, and Randall let it slip. Hill coming the other way. Uget is fouled.
Yeah, we documented it yesterday. Florida is a fast ball club that gets faster when Casey Hill checks in at that point guard spot. He has more pure, natural, raw speed with a basketball than Wilbekin does. So when he checks in, the pressure on Kentucky's defense now has to go to either another level to stop that basketball.
Will Uget at the free throw line, hasn't scored yet. Now he has. Another one of the seniors, Will Uget, 6'8", out of Bordeaux, France. Cauley-Stein will pull off the miss. Cauley-Stein takes it up and in.
A great play by Willie Cauley-Stein. It's hard to get anything good off of ball screen action against Florida because they own ball screen action and they cover it up well.
Wilbekin, long three. Yes.
A lot of people don't agree with me when I say Scotty Wilbekin's the best point guard in the country, but the facts back it up.
And he just tied up the dribble. Possession arrow will keep it in Kentucky's end of the court, but great play on defense after knocking down a three on the other end.
Brett, he sticks the three, and as the ball comes out of the net, he's already thinking defense. Casey Hill now becomes the point guard, and Wilbekin, and now a trusted three-point shooter, sticks it nothing but rim. But as soon as it went through the net, he's back in his stance, his hands around the basketball, play on.
Good first move by Finney Smith. Got Randall going one way. And a foul underneath on the battle for the rebound. That's going to be Finney Smith's first. Marcus Lee's going to check in for Kentucky. And Cauley-Stein will get a rest. Good start for Willie Cauley-Stein. And we've always said, seems like he has one up game, then a down game. He had an up game in the first round. Had a down game yesterday in the semifinals. He's kind of on his way up so far here in the opening 12 minutes.
Yeah, sitting at dinner last night, and John Calipari called, and we visited for a while, and he was talking about your point right there, that he knows Willie Cauley-Stein has to be a consistent dude starting today if they're going to do any damage and make a deep run towards the Final Four.
We approach 8 minutes. Florida by 9. Gators on a 7-0 run to get to this point, their largest lead. And again, a whistle underneath. It might be Marcus Lee. Maybe set an illegal screen or a moving screen.
Brett, I think he got his feet outside of his shoulder area, and contact was initiated. That's on the screen.
And you see him back on defense, and you also see that Chris Walker's in the lineup for Florida for the first time. Frazier going to try to take it inside. We were talking about him not being a guy that puts it on the floor too often. Now he's on the floor and hopefully not hurt. Boy, his teammates are staying right there with him. That doesn't look too good. And a terrible landing after he drove to the basket. I know Dave Werner, the trainer, is going to be out there and already is. And Coach Billy Donovan will be with Shannon right now. Billy's more worried about his star outside shooter.
Billy, first and foremost, I know you went over there and saw Michael Frazier. What did you see?
Got the wind knocked out of him. I think the way he landed, he just got the wind knocked out of him, so he'll be fine.
How would you describe the way your team has started this game after 2 slow starts the last 2 games?
I think we've started well. You know, I mentioned to you, I think, yesterday. You know, I thought we got off to a pretty good start against Tennessee. But when we subbed, where we had a drop-off, I think Casey Hill and some of the younger guys are playing well right now, which has been able to help us keep some intensity on the court right now, which has been good.
Thank you, Billy.
Thank you.
Well, that's good news. Michael Frazier. Everybody in here kind of held their breath. You could hear a pin drop in the Georgia Dome. It's 20,000 people in here. Kentucky fans, just like the Florida fans, hoping that nobody's going to get hurt. Bad landing almost on the head of Andrew Harrison. And there you see, we thought for a second might have been his shoulder, but just had the wind knocked out of him. And he's okay, and that's great. Off to a good start. 11 points and 3 threes already.
Where the perception of the SEC is in basketball not strong, and Mike Slive not happy last year when this league only got 3 teams in. It looks like that's what's going to happen again. But think about this: if Florida wins the national championship this year, like they very well could, this league will have produced 4 out of the past 9 national champions.
That ain't bad.
That ain't bad.
Let's see if Kentucky can get on the scoreboard. We hit a lull here in the scoring, stuck on a 9-point Florida lead. Poitras, he just kind of hop, skipped, and jumped his way into Finney Smith and scored, and he's got a chance for a 3-point play.
John Calipari knows right now with Patrick Young on the bench that he has to play power basketball, smash mouth basketball, move it, hit the elbow, and attack. go right through Chris Walker, challenge this guy, and see, is he ready? Is he ready defensively to hold up in a game like this? Remember, Walker only got eligible in February. Billy Donovan knows he's going to have him in the NCAA tournament. 3-point
play for Alex Poitras. And so not only did Kentucky score that trip, they cut into that lead by 3. Sliced it down to 6. And now Wilbekin and company going to work with Frazier on the bench.
Kentucky switching the ball screen action of Florida. They honest guard and they trust one another, Brad, at all 5 spots to do it.
Wilbekin driving against Cauley-Stein. Drops it off to Walker, and he had to put it up off the window because time was running out, and he did it perfectly.
An emergency shot and an emergency pass by Wilbekin. How about Willie Cauley-Stein coming out and taking on the point guard and leveling him off? The foot speed and quickness with Willie Cauley-Stein and Randall, very impressive, allows Kentucky to switch.
Young on a runner. Couldn't get it to drop. Tipped rebound to Wilbekin. Coming down 1-on-3, gives it off to Von Walker for 3. Chris Walker the rebound. And he's roughed up as he tried to get it back up on the window. He'll go to the free throw line. Well, the journey to Nashville starts on Monday. You can see every team get seated in the women's bracket. Then stick around as we interview the key players and coaches as they react to their road to the championship. Women's selection special Monday at 7 on ESPN and continue at 8 on ESPNU.
I will be in West Lafayette, Indiana for the first and second round of the women's NCAA championship this year. Purdue.
Yeah. We don't know who's in it. That's how we have to have the show.
Right. I'll call you if you're not watching and let you know who's in my bracket.
I appreciate that, pal. Chris Walker, the freshman that Jimmy talked about a couple of minutes ago, misses a free throw, but it goes over Cauley-Stein, and Prater got it up and in.
Right now, Brad, Florida getting about 50% of their misses off the offensive glass. Kentucky only 25. That's a flip-flop of what normally happens. Watch out now.
A steal. Prater got fouled. The steal came from Wilbekin on the pressure of Florida's defense. And they've got a double-digit lead, and they're looking to add to it.
Partner, when Florida scores at the rim with a big, and I'm going to consider Prater a big this time. When they score at the rim, the press gets immediately hot. And watch what happens. No hard checkout. And there's the score at the rim, and the press gets hot. Boom, the first big steps up. They take away your vision. We saw it happen yesterday in this tournament as well from Florida.
Casey Prater's got 7 points. Chance for some more here. Nice championship belt. That'd make Ric Flair proud.
It would.
He's a big Gator fan, by the way.
They've got all the pieces, Florida does, to walk away with a real belt at that Final Four in 3 weeks.
Missed both free throws. Six-minute mark. Aaron Harrison can't get it to drop, and loose ball picked up by Aaron Harrison. Now brother Andrew at the points. Randall thought about a 3.
A good job by Finney-Smith to get on the left side of Randall, taking away his strength.
Cauley-Stein draws a crowd. Pull-up jumper by Aaron Harrison.
Brett, I'm going to say that's either the second or third guarded shot that Kentucky's had to make in this half. I said they have to make 3 or 4 per half. Right now, they're tracking that number.
Wilbekin, deep triple. Yes.
Every once in a while, Kentucky will get burned because of how much they switch on all the ball screen action. Randall was in perfect position with his feet. He was not in perfect position with his mind or his hand challenging the shot, because Randall has his feet outside that three-point line. But Wilbekin, I'm telling you, he's got a lot of rise now, a lot of pop into his jump shot.
That's what you call holding your follow-through for about 6 more seconds after it went through.
You saw where his shot elbow was, Brad, when he finished. It was at eye level or higher. That's what the good shooters do to you now.
And he's given his team their biggest advantage, up 11 now. Andrew Harrison breaks the pressure, got it down to Poitras, who mishandled it.
I'm telling you, Florida gives you nothing on the back end of the press. It's amazing how hard they can press you and still protect the rim.
Underhand dish inside. Walker missed once, doesn't miss the second time.
Brad, 2 days before Chris Walker got eligible, had about a 30-minute conversation with John Pelfrey, the assistant coach, about what you expect from Chris Walker going forward. He said, our goal by March in the NCAA tournament, can he be a 12 to 15-minute guy if he has to and produce on both ends of the floor? We're starting to check yes on that question.
Only played 5 minutes yesterday, but he's had a great start here today, looking for point number 5 already. That's the first free throw he's made this year. Limited play, obviously.
Right.
But he was 0 for 3 coming in, and now he's 1 for 2 today. In fact, that's a career high in points right now for Chris Walker with 5. Nice move by Young, and he will have a chance for a three-point play.
And just when I talked about how terrific Florida is on the back end of their press, what does Kentucky do, Brad? They get to the middle third of the floor in their press breaker, and then you can reverse the ball to the far side and get a baseline attack, but it's not easy to do.
This is Kentucky's 1,000th attempted free throw coming
That's
up.
an amazing number. BYU leads the country with 1,025 attempts. New Mexico State with 1,008. And now Manhattan drops to 4th with 998.
Those other two teams have played one more game, I think, though, haven't they?
They have. But you know what? That's John Calipari at his core as a coach, Brad. Free throw attempts and rim shots. That's what he wants out of his offense. Unguarded shots from 15 feet.
Casey Hill will dish it back out. Finney Smith now takes it in. Missed the slam. Great cut to the basket. Kentucky coming the other way. Young. He'll go to the foul line again.
Finney Smith was trying to send a message, is what he was trying to do. Because that was athlete against athlete, with Finney Smith being checked by Randall. Randall goes too high, and Finney Smith reads it and just, but again, that's Kentucky's ability to defend the rim. Willie Cauley-Stein got just a couple of fingers on it. It's all he needed.
There was the text. He forgot to hit send.
He did, yeah, you're right.
Frazier picks up the foul. And Young at the free throw line. James Young, a freshman as well, out of Rochester Hills, Michigan. Got the roll on that one. Wilbekin and Prather come back in for Florida. Frazier and Hill will check out. There's our officiating crew today. We have a net issue right now. Doug Childs is, yeah,
we have a net issue.
Tangled.
That is not a legal net with that net tangled around the front of the rim right there. So now we need our net fixer.
That's going to be Casey Prather, our net fixer. Whoops.
And now he messed it up.
You got to go
even
do it
more.
again, Casey. You got to go one more time. There you go.
I jumped up and hung on the net at Missouri earlier this year, demonstrating a technical foul. So if they needed,
How did you get up there, by the way?
be, I could have done it.
So normally you have to have a ladder and stuff, and 2 or 3 guys to hold the ladder. And Casey Prather says, I got this. I got this. Just hold on. Okay. I see the problem. I will correct the issue thusly, and we're good to go.
And the eye concentration of Casey Prather.
You know, the next time he wants to touch that net, cutting a snip
Cutting it down.
in about 24 minutes.
Yep, they are on a mission, this Florida team. Not only to cut these nets down, but maybe a regional championship down, and then the Final Four.
Walker threw it right between the legs of Will You Get. Florida turnover. They haven't done much wrong, though. They lead by 10, 35-25, 3:42 to go. John Calipari is going to talk to Shannon when we come back.
thing, you got to rebound the ball. It's our advantage. We got a couple guys that don't think it's their responsibility. I told them I'm going to take you out. Second thing is, the last 5 games, they've made 50% of their threes. So you've got to make these guys drivers. So we start the game giving up 2 threes after we talk. That's what a young team does. But I'm happy with how we played with our position right now. So
Thank you.
we're going to keep battling.
Thank you, Coach.
And right now, in the paint, there's what Kentucky's done since Patrick Young's second foul.
And it hasn't been enough. They have not capitalized because with Young on the bench, the lead went from 16-14 to 35-25. So Kentucky, with Patrick Young sitting over there, has not been able to throw their form of power basketball at the rim and cut into this lead.
Again, backcourt pressure, as you'll see from Florida, virtually the entire game.
I like how Calipari, during interviews, talks about guys without saying their name. Julius Randle has no offensive rebounds in this game. And
We know who he's talking
about. You look at Julius Randle and you think, who out there should maybe have at least 1 or 2? 30 in blue would be one of my first choices.
And he admits freely that I'm going to take you out. Doesn't sound good, does it?
Does not.
I'm going to take you out. This will be Andrew Harrison at the free throw line. Always have to check number or shoe color to keep the Twins separated.
Brad, you've heard me say it before, but quiet guys kill you. They kill you. And the Harrison Twins, really this whole entire Kentucky team, they were quiet guys. November, December, January, they were stuck on quiet. And that's not good for a basketball team. Now they're starting to talk. Now they're starting to be more vocal. It's amazing. The energy level, the effort level has followed right behind their own voice.
And just as you say that, the Kentucky crowd turns up the volume a little bit as well. Foul on the drive will be on Young, and that's 2 on James Young now. So both teams have got some issues with 2 fouls on key players, and we still have 3:23 remaining in the half. Be interesting to see if he brings Calipari, that is, James Young out with that second foul. He doesn't want a cheap third one on one of those better outside shooters. And Prater gets the first, and Young does go to the bench. Now 30 for 30, requiem for the Big East, explores a meteoric rise of the Big East Conference, becoming one of the most successful college sports leagues in America. 30 for 30, requiem for the Big East, presented by Infinity, coming up tonight at 9 o'clock. Casey Prater got both, and he has 9 points. You get in the backcourt, giving Harrison some issues. Gonna have to hustle. Just made it into the front court.
That was backcourt. It looked to me like
his foot went
right. Both feet and the ball came across the timeline and then stepped back over it.
And Wilbekin with the steal, and it doesn't matter. Harrison with the foul. It's going the other way.
That Florida can speed you up with their full court pressure, and then they go to their half court defense, and they keep you at a speed faster than you want to play.
Wilbekin came in leading the Gators in steals. Here's what we were talking about.
Both feet and the ball go over. And now, watch the foot. That is backcourt. Right there in front of Doug Shows. And boy, a guy that hardly ever misses anything, missed one.
Wilbekin with the steal, sending him to the free throw line after he was bumped. And rims out the free throw. He had 14 points yesterday. Looking for number 7 today. And he missed them both. A little bit of a rarity. Florida's only 6 out of 13 on their free throws. That's something that kind of dogged them all year, and it could dog them in the NCAA tournament too if they shoot like that. Still, they lead by 10 with 2:45 and a half. Cauley Stein in traffic. Randall. Now he's got an offensive rebound. What's he going to do with it? Got it back up there, and Cauley Stein got his mitts in the way and tipped it off the window.
You know, if John Calipari is talking to Shannon about getting on the offensive glass, he's going to leave that interview and talk to his team. Again, I've talked about it earlier in this game. John Calipari couldn't coach.
More rebounds a game than their opposition, and that's something that Billy Donovan told Shannon earlier. You know, we got to rebound with these guys. They lost the rebounding battle in one.
We have to remember, he's starting 5 true freshmen, and they're going to probably be somewhere between a 5 and a 7 seed. And there's a long way to go still in this ball game for his young team to improve within the basketball game.
Wilbekin over Cauley Stein. I don't even know how he got it over his hands.
How good is he?
He has hit 11 threes in this tournament.
And he shot it over an outstretched 7-footer that can defend.
Harrison tried to answer, and Poitras, did he step on the baseline? Yes, he did.
The development of Wilbekin as a 3-point shooter, now 40%. Look at this. That's not a late recovery. That's Scotty Wilbekin again, Brad, impressed with how much pop and how much power he has with his jump shot. And he shoots it at the very top every single time, snaps it off, and again, the elbow of the shot side is always at nose or eye level.
On that score, on the Randall miss, was credited to Poitras, not Cauley Stein. I have no idea what game the official scorers are watching. We'll try to straighten it out for you at halftime. Randall. Ooh. Well, he got fouled, and Casey Hill got all of it. And for Hill, that's 3. So his half is done for sure.
That is like trying to get in front of or stop a train coming down the tracks in Julius Randle. His ability in the open floor with the basketball, catching it on the move. We talked about his ability for a big kid to catch it going full speed is very impressive. Kind of where he thrives, getting to that free throw strike.
Hill first ran into Julius Randle's hip, which would hurt enough, and then he landed really bad on his hip when he hit the deck. It's a double whammy.
That's interesting. Julius Randle, he's just average as a true post-up player. Actually shooting 39%, 0.8 points per play is Randle. That's not good. He's also just average as an ISO guy one-on-one at 35%. Where he thrives is shooting 62% on offensive putbacks and also 62% in transition. Here's the reason why. Those first 2 areas, you can double team him and put him in a crowd. You can't double team him and take him away in putbacks and transition basketball.
And we're going to get another opportunity to get it in the hands of Randle or somebody, thanks to Cauley Stein getting the rebound off the missed free throw.
Look at Florida try to down the action. Even in their zone, they will ice and down the ball on the outer third of the floor.
Cauley Stein kicks it out to Harrison. Had an opening, but his brother has a better look. And a foul on the rebound. I'm not sure if it's on Yaget or Cauley Stein. They're both number 15. I guess it's on Yaget. Those two were battling for the rebound, and so Cauley Stein will go to the stripe. Willie is not a very good free throw shooter. Has had a good start today, though, with 6 points. He's under 50% on the year from the line. That one looked pretty good.
Brad, think about the number of points that Kentucky leaves on the floor when you consider they now have taken 1,002 or 3 free throws on the year.
Yeah. You'd like to hit more than 68% of them, which is what they have done as a team. Second one comes out. So we're under a minute. Florida with a 10-point cushion. They won the first game, a regular season, by 10, and then routed Kentucky in the second game. Casey Prater had a bad bounce. Got it to Wilbekin. His pass underneath the Yaget. Cauley Stein picks up the loose ball. Kentucky looking to run with 20 to play in the half. Aaron Harrison has it stripped. Wasted opportunity for Kentucky to cut into a double-digit lead, because now it's the Gators that can take the final shot of the half.
And yesterday it was Scotty Wilbekin. You know that he doesn't want to give this ball up. You better get your hands up. He'll fire.
There it goes. This one doesn't go as it did the end of the half yesterday, though. So no further damage done, but still the number 1 team in the country, a 10-point cushion, and they've done it with 3-point shooting. Kentucky hasn't hit one. The Gators have 6. 40-30. Florida on top. Time for the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. We head back to the studio. Reese, Jay, and Jay are standing by, guys.
All right, Brad, glad to have you with us.
30, our halftime score. Partner, you and I were talking over here without the headsets on, and we said Kentucky's not playing that bad. They're just playing a better team right now.
Well, they absolutely are. This is the best team in the country. Talking about the Florida Gators. Very impressed, Brad, with what Florida was able to do without Patrick Young. He only played 6 minutes, but how this game gets started. Florida in the pro slot pick and roll action. They get Michael Frazier freed up for a good look early, and now from that point on, the rim looks really big to Michael Frazier, and that's a problem because he's lethal from the three-point line. But it's all been triggered by the play of Scotty Wilbekin. This is the play that I said he slows down, reads the defense, allows the cut defense to clear through, and now he's going to punch the gap and get Prather for an open look on the weak side. He has played with terrific pace and vision and feel in this game, as all great point guards do. Now defensively, this is a Florida team, even in their zone or their man, they're going to shoot gap, they play in his stance, and Scotty Wilbekin right now is also dialed in because he's making shots over contested long arms of Julius Randle and Willie Cauley-Stein. Is Kentucky going to go away? That is my question.
No, we'll find out. Wilbekin and Frazier have each hit 3 threes. That's been the difference in the ball game right now. 11 points for Frazier and 0 for 5 from outside the arc for Kentucky. They're going to have to improve on that or get a lot of inside help, one of the two. And Randle is not starting the second half. He's talking to Coach Calipari on the sideline. And here we go. Final half for an SEC tournament title. Let's check in with Shannon.
Well, Brad, you mentioned Julius Randle on the bench. Coach Calipari told me he was going to put Alex Poythress in there just to mix it up a little bit, try to get a little bit more aggressive. He does like the confidence that his team is playing with, but he said he knew this was going to be a physical game. They got to play more physical. They have to make some 3 shots, and they have to fight, or else it'll be hard to win.
And isn't going to help if Patrick Young's back in there either, as he went out with 10:55 to play in the first half and now makes his presence felt immediately with the first shot of the second half. Aaron Harrison against Young, who just stood his ground, and now Johnson misses in close, and you get muscles out of rebound.
Big boy rebound by Will You Get.
Frazier, pull up 3. Got it. Nope, off the front of the rim. Looked like it was falling through. It was falling down.
No, absolutely it did.
And a walk. Wasted opportunity again for Kentucky.
Even after a mistake, though, in this tournament, John Calipari not near as demonstrative on the sidelines with his guys, Brad. This time he gets Young's attention, calls him over, just talks to him, pats him on the backside, we go back to play. Again, I talked about it yesterday. His body language has also changed in the last week or so as the head coach.
Young hit his last shot, squares up on Johnson, going to try to take it in again. Got it again. And the lead's growing instead of going the other way for Kentucky right now. In fact, it's the biggest of the day, up 14. Uget picks up his second foul.
And watch Patrick Young use his body. He sweeps, drives, sticks that pivot foot, and his best shot still, even off the move towards the rim, is to his left shoulder with the right jump hook. Now, he can also go left jump hook on you, but at his core, he's still a right jump hook guy, even on the move.
The Harrison twins, Young, Cauley-Stein, and now Randle in there on the floor, the 5 for Kentucky. And now the twins arguing about who's going to take it. Sure, that's not the first time they've argued in their years. And a steal again. Kentucky, another turnover. Prather, 3-on-2. He's going to take it himself. Kentucky with Cauley-Stein on a lob. Well, that's one of the few times Kentucky's given up points in transition.
That in this tournament, the late clock pressure release for John Calipari has been Julius Randle up top with a basketball, and he gets it and lowers his head and goes. Florida right on top of it. They knew that's what Kentucky was going to do. They were sitting in the gap waiting on it, and Randle took the ball right into the gap.
Nice catch by Prather down low. But Cauley-Stein stays with him and pulls it down. Randall. Three-pointer won't go. Florida give that shot up all day. Frazier rejected by Cauley-Stein. Outlet. Aaron Harrison missed a jam. And Young's going to be fouled on the inside. You know, unless you're 100% sure you can slam that thing, style points don't count right now. Just points count.
Yeah, not at all. We've had two of them in this ball game. One from Florida's Finney-Smith and one from Kentucky on that possession. Florida cannot win this ball game. They have no shot at winning this game, Kentucky, Brad, unless they get out and run in the open floor. So how do you do that? You've got to get the ball off the defensive board and score in your transition, because Kentucky's half-court offense is not good enough yet to take down a defense like Florida's throwing out. That's clean. There was no contact on him. He just misjudged the takeoff spot and hit it on back rim.
James Young, both free throws. He's got 8. 3 minutes into the second half. It's still Florida by 12. You get over Cauley-Stein. Can't get it to drop. And Kentucky can get it down to 10. Again, they're having trouble with their offense. They've got 1 field goal and 2 free throws in the opening nearly 4 minutes of this half.
I like the aggressive push by Andrew Harrison. Again, run that ball up the floor before Florida can get their defense set, but he had a kick out to his brother on the wing that he didn't see. The difference in his vision and Scotty Wilbekin's vision is at 2 different levels right now.
Exactly. And when he gets that part of his game, he'll be a heck of a player, because he's 6'6", as is his brother.
Yes.
And Billy Donovan's going to take a timeout and not wait for the TV timeout. He didn't like the looks of something out there, even though he's got a 12-point lead. John Calipari's Wildcats trying to stop the #1 team in the country, but they are 12-point
advance deep in this NCAA tournament, and that's why Florida, Wichita State, Louisville, and Virginia, for me, it's my jet. I can put up who I want. Those are the 4 teams I say, go ahead, store your luggage, fasten the seatbelt. We're going to take off in a couple of hours.
Wilbekin had that 3 halfway down, and it came out on him, and Patrick Young trying to put it back is fouled by James Young. Timeout with Florida up 12.
ESPN Bracketology is your selection Sunday guide to the big dance.
They've proven they belong.
Chip game.
How'd that huddle go, Shannon?
Yeah, the last 2 huddles for the Wildcats have been all about rebounding. In that last huddle, Coach Calipari specifically looked at Julius Randle and just asked him, why didn't you get the rebound? He certainly addressed the missed shots, but it's been all about the rebound. He said, listen, I'll make it easy for you. Just rebound the ball.
Simplify things. Right now, his team is down 13. Their first 7 trips of this half, 1 for 6 from the floor, and 2 turnovers. And a touch foul on Finney-Smith. Julius Randle in this tournament against LSU, 17-12 against Georgia, and today only 2 points.
Brad, if you guard Julius Randle with your feet and you don't let him get to the free throw stripe on you, he's going to take 5 or 6 bad shots a game, and he's not going to be able to beat you. But you can't bail him out. And Florida's done a nice job of putting him in a crowd, but not fouling him for the most part.
Here he is on the pass out to Aaron Harrison. 3 goes finally. Kentucky's got a triple.
And that's John Calipari putting Julius Randle at the elbow. Again, be a playmaker, be a play finisher. Trust in his skill set.
Now the Wildcat faithful trying to urge their team out as they cut the lead down to 10. Casey Hill. Ball never got to the rim, so the shot clock's down to 8. Wilbekin trying to throw it outside and threw it away.
One of the few mistakes by Scotty Wilbekin in this tournament, not just today.
So now Kentucky and their crowd will come to full voice here as they've got an opportunity to get it down under double digits. Remember, in the second regular season game, they made a run when they were really in a big hole and got it as close as 6 before Florida put the pedal down again. Randall kind of lost the handle on it, I think, or made indecision between jamming it and just laying it in.
And a great job by Florida not to bail him out and foul him.
Benny Smith. So much for getting it down under double digits.
They can put it on you in a hurry, talking about the Florida Gators. They can go on a 6, 7, 8-0 run as good as anyone we have in the game.
Kentucky hit 9 threes against Georgia yesterday, and now they have but 1, and they're going to need some more before this game's over. Cauley-Stein on the low block, turns with a left hand, trying to get his own miss, picks up a foul.
Brad, I want to go back and talk about Florida and how they're guarding Julius Randle as he's driving that ball to his left, which is his power strong arm or hand. Dorian Finney-Smith just levels him off, gets his elbows at his ears and makes sure that he doesn't foul. Then on the next possession, Dorian Finney-Smith finishes off the play. Very important not to allow Julius Randle to drive in there, throw his body into you, and get himself to the free throw stripe, and Florida has not done it today.
And now Cauley-Stein and Randle are both on the Kentucky bench. Nice bounce pass to Young for the flush. And the lead is swelled to 15 again. And possession area will keep it on Kentucky's end of the floor.
At Florida, so good, Brad. The pro slot, the 40, here it is again, that same 45-degree angle to the rim, and Patrick Young's going to come up. Now watch what happens. That is a lethal combination when you surround it with shooters, because Casey Hill can go right or left, and Patrick Young sets the screen and then makes a rim run. The pocket pass is there. Kentucky's late recovering, and Patrick Young says, I'll take the 2.
And you can already see the look on Dakari Johnson's face as if to say, uh-oh, we know what's coming.
Yep.
And what a bounce pass right off a dribble one-handed by Casey Hill. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Poitras double team and tied up by Wildcats. Florida gets it back with their defense.
How many seniors have that kind of emotion after causing a turnover with a hard trap? It's a really short list, and Patrick Young is on top of that list. John Calipari showed his own team a game-saving, game-changing play by Patrick Young against Tennessee when he saved the ball. And look at the fire of this guy.
What did he tell you? He's going to play like he's a walk-on freshman?
Trying to earn a scholarship.
Trying to earn an SEC tournament title, and they're 12 minutes away from it. Offensive interference. Give it back to Kentucky.
Patrick Young has played so hard the last few minutes. He looks at Billy and says, Coach, I need a blow.
That time he didn't want to touch that. I'm not sure he did touch that.
Hard to beat, relentless effort.
Minutes to play. Kentucky, pretty soon they're going to have to hurry their offense up a little bit. They're going to run out of chances. Hill picks up the foul, and that's his 4th. Well, most storied conference in college athletics has a new network 24/7 coming up in August. The SEC Network. Go to secnetwork.com. Demand the network from your TV provider today. Julius Randle on the inside, short on one. Wilbekin comes out with a loose ball rebound. Florida can take their time. Prather trying to drive on Finney Smith. Got the pass to Yeget, and then it got swatted out of there by Kentucky. This time they do hurry up their offense, and it'll send Andrew Harrison to the free throw line after this timeout. 11:25 remaining. Those Florida seniors, those four starters looking for an SEC tournament crown. They're 11:25 away from it right now.
Staples has everything
in a guaranteed pro. And you look at the 06-07 title team. We know about Noah and Horford and Brewer. Humphrey had time in the NBA as well. I think Scotty Wilbekin has a great shot to make a roster. Frazier to be determined. Prather probably won't. Yeget probably won't. Young maybe to be determined. But it's a different breed of a team that Billy Donovan has to work with this year.
I think the key you said there, none of them are worried about what's next. They're just worried about what's at hand right now. Harrison got both free throws. He's hit 6 in this game. 8 points for him.
Well, John Calipari going to gamble right now and try to get some momentum going with a 2-3 zone. They will lift the wings high. If Florida's patient, they can get some shots along that baseline, corner or short corner.
Just don't let number 20 get an opening. Well, they're not even going to get it. They're going to rip it inside to Patrick Young, who'll make sure.
That wasn't corner or short corner. That was really, really short corner.
That was power, and he's got 12 in the game now. Randall against Young, draws a foul.
The patience by Florida, Brad, knowing exactly what they want to do against that big Kentucky zone. That's a long zone. And Syracuse's zone is not any longer or bigger, but they lift Willie Cauley-Stein by getting Dorian Finney-Smith, the playmaker, in the middle of the zone. Willie Cauley-Stein bites up, and you play against the zone from behind, and Patrick Young finished it off.
Randall's first point of the second half and only his 3rd point of the game. A guy that averaged a double-double of 15.3 and 10.6 boards has struggled against this Florida defense, as a lot of people have this year.
Brad, part of Julius Randle's struggles still continue. His arms are really average length, and he has a tendency to expose the ball to the defense around the rim. That will be a concern if I'm looking at him as an NBA player. That is a legitimate concern.
Wilbekin 3. This one in and out, and Cauley-Stein a rebound. Harrison the pull-up, got it. Aaron Harrison. Prather on a hook. Cauley-Stein pulls it down. Nice hustle by Cauley-Stein to get the pass to Harrison. Can Kentucky get it down to single digits for the first time this half? Nope, not that trip. And a timeout taken by Billy Donovan. 9:35 remaining in the ball game. Florida maintains an 11-point lead.
Center's not my strong suit.
The eye battling for that last rebound, and he takes a seat on the Florida bench.
I think it's very interesting to break the huddle. Scotty Wilbekin brought all 4 of his guys to him. and sent another message to probably emphasize what Billy Donovan had said. When Kentucky broke their huddle, Andrew Harrison did the same thing. We didn't see that from him. Again, quiet guys kill you, and Andrew Harrison is no longer a quiet guy.
Prather almost lost it out of bounds. Down to 6 on the shot clock. Wilbekin. He has to throw up a prayer. And it goes up and hits the score, the shot clock, I should say. So good job that time by Kentucky. Now can they do something with it on offense? The crowd here, a pro-Kentucky crowd, is hoping so.
So what does Billy Donovan's press do, Brad? Look at the lag time right now. After they broke the press, a lot of lag time, and now 18 before they get into their offense.
Young pick and roll to Cauley-Stein. Good shot.
Great feat by Willie Cauley-Stein because he was in a crowd.
It's the first time it's been a single-digit advantage since the first half. 8:30 to go on a walk by Tony Smith. Now you're going to hear it from the Cat Nation in here. And again, full court pressure coming from Florida.
Brad, to me, it's the cumulative effect that Florida has on you with their press that gets into. Will Kentucky's big physical guards hold up the remaining 8:20 against that pressure?
Johnson down low. Harrison, a three. Got it. Here come the Cats. Much like the second regular season game, they cut a 16-point advantage down to 6. Rejected by Cauley-Stein. Harrison on the run against Wilbekin. Up and in. All of a sudden, the youth movement from Kentucky cuts the veteran Florida lead to 4.
I asked you to early in the second half, Brad, would Kentucky go away in this game? I think that was John Calipari's biggest fear, is how they would finish this game. Now they're right back in it. This thing is far from over. But you have to love, if you're a Kentucky fan, the way that they have responded against the nation's best team. Because they could have gone the other direction and folded and melted on this floor. But they have not. It's Kentucky's defense. Again, I talked about their layup defense and their defense to protect the rim. Starting to be a factor with their physical size. And the Harrison twins, a completely different combo than they were a month ago.
This is what an 11-0 run over 3 minutes will do for the emotion on the Kentucky side.
This is great for Kentucky, a great test for Kentucky. You know what else? It's a great test for Florida. They will be the overall #1 seed. They will have pressure on them like they've had all season long. The pressure is back in the building. Now, how will the Florida Gators respond with a veteran team on the floor?
And most of the Wildcat players just slap the floor on the defensive end, looking for another stop.
We have not seen Florida panic all season long. I don't expect it to happen now.
10 on the shot clock. Wilbekin against Young with a 15-footer. Rebound will be Florida's. You get tipped that to Prather.
Not going to make Kentucky work again. This will test the defensive discipline of Kentucky to stay locked in back-to-back possessions.
Wilbekin for 3. Rebound, Cauley-Stein. Young. Fouled by Wilbekin. .46 remaining. We didn't have a ball game about 5 minutes ago. Trust me, we are buying all that, aren't you, Jimmy? Obviously the #1, we are.
Yes, and I think Tennessee might even be at 10. They got help today again by Virginia winning the ACC. Read a lot of things starting to turn right now in the Georgia Dome in Kentucky's favor. You look up, Kentucky only has 2 team fouls, and they're already in the bonus. So how many points can Kentucky get from the free throw stripe before Florida even gets a chance to get in the 1-on-1?
James Young's 4 out of 5 from the stripe today. Knocks down the first.
Kentucky now 7 out of 7 in the second half from the line. We talked about the number of points they leave on the floor with over 1,000 free throw attempts on the year. Now would be a nice time to make them.
Got them both. Jimmy, this is as close as the game has ever been because Florida hit an opening three-pointer and never looked back. And now it's down to 2.
Willie Cauley-Stein, Brad, you better drag him away from that rim because he has 5 blocks in this game, and if Florida can't drag him away, he's going to continue to impact it.
Finney Smith, rebound Kentucky. They've never led in the game. And Cauley-Stein undercut by Finney Smith.
Cauley-Stein with 10 points. Now, or 9 points, now 11 rebounds and 5 blocks. And at some point, you just cannot erase the 7-foot length and the wingspan with a smaller Florida ball club.
Cauley-Stein hits about every other free throw that he takes. He hit that one. A guy that's had a tremendous defensive game, as Jimmy just mentioned. He's gone over the 100 block plateau in this game with 5. And now he's got an opportunity to tie the game for the first time. Still Florida now hanging by the fingernails with a 1-point lead. Frazier for 3. Got it.
That's Kentucky right there in a nutshell, Brad. Too young to play through every possession with an urgency.
We talked about all year long the resiliency of this Florida team. When they're pushed to the brink, do they come back? This is what they're doing right now. That 3 by Frazier gave them a 4-point cushion. And Florida lost it on the baseline, so it's Kentucky ball.
Brad, Michael Frazier got loose in transition on that last play, and you know, Florida, they have to tag him. They have to identify him. That's the guy that potentially making game-winning shots in this dome.
Cauley-Stein trying to spin for a shot, kicks it back out. Harrison missed a 3, and Frazier with a rebound. Approaching the 5-minute mark. 3-point shooting has been the difference for Florida in the game. Will out to Wilbekin with 10 on the shot clock. Wilbekin himself off the window.
No panic. There's no panic out of this senior class by Florida. Aaron Harrison did a good job to not leave Frazier in the corner, and Wilbekin drove the ball to that side and got himself to the lane.
John Calipari takes a timeout with 4:56 remaining. 6-point lead. They cut it down to 1, and then Florida had an answer with Frazier and Wilbekin on back-to-back possessions.
Scotty Wilbekin drives the ball to the same side of the floor that Frazier's on, knowing that you can't come off the corner help. And Willie Cauley-Stein gets stuck on Patrick Young because he respects the drop-off ability of Wilbekin. And Willie Cauley-Stein, though, has Kentucky right back in this game.
Now, he's done a great job defensively. Took that one away from Prather. And then a rejection that led to a basket. And against Prather again, that led to Harrison's layup. That got him within 4. They got as close as 1 on Cauley-Stein's free throw, but right now it's a 6-point cushion again. Let's check in with Shannon.
Well, Brad, you talked about how resilient this Florida team has been. It's been about sticking to the process, according to Scotty Wilbekin, knowing that they have been here before, they've been through these experiences and fighting through it. Interesting, in that last huddle, Patrick Young looked at all the guys and said, we knew that this run would happen. We have to stick together. We have to fight through it.
You know, amazingly, we talked about Wilbekin being the SEC Player of the Year. The last 2 SEC Player of the Years for Florida, Chandler Parsons was the last one. Neither one of those guys led the team in scoring. How about that?
That's just the balance and the togetherness and the toughness that Florida plays with. They do what's right when it's really, really hard to do what's right. The best definition of toughness I've ever heard came from Brad Stevens 2 summers ago when he and I were at a clinic together.
Bakari Johnson picks up his 3rd. Randall back in. The Wildcats have one more push. They had a great push, got their crowd into it, cut it to 54 to 53. They're stuck on 53 right now, and Florida's had an answer so far. And running the baseline, we got a foul on Andrew Harrison, trying to stay with Wilbekin.
Yeah, Brad, Billy Donovan's going to make the Harrison twins work right now defensively. Casey Hill's at the point. He has Frazier on one wing and Wilbekin on the other. And he's crossing those guys up, saying, I got to get into the legs maybe a little bit more on those Harrison twins and make them defend.
They've played more minutes than anybody on either team. Hill back out on top. Wilbekin has a look at Coach Donovan. And now again, he's going to run the baseline.
Yeah, a big mismatch. And finally they get reattached. Now the Harrison twins are on the shooters.
How about Cauley Stein? We just showed you what he's done this half defensively. Comes up with a huge steal. Randall asking for it down low, but the pass the second time, Prather saw it coming and jumped in the lane to get the steal himself.
Yeah, it's almost like one freshman point guard said, I see your bad pass and I'll raise you a bad pass.
3.5 to go. Prather. Kentucky will let that shot go all day.
Absolutely.
Randall, they're finally going to touch down low, but they have to bring it back to Andrew Harrison at the point. And a whistle and a foul is on Wilbekin, I believe. 3:12 remaining. Top seed and #1 team in the country. Still hanging in there by 6.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by...
It's at hand today on ESPN and also live on Watch ESPN. That last foul was given to Patrick Young. I had said before that I thought it was on Wilbekin, and I looked at Tony Green and I thought he had 5 fingers up. He had 4 up, and that's 4 on Patrick Young. It must have happened way away from the play because we took a look at the replay during the break, and I didn't see any foul. So.
I did not either. I thought it was Casey Hill reaching in.
At any rate, it sends Andrew Harrison to the free throw line, where he's perfect today, 6 for 6. Still perfect. 9 points for Andrew.
Got Kentucky finally starting to play like John Calipari's been asking his guys to play all year. Score at the free throw line, score around the rim, and trust our defense at the other end. And you see the free throw numbers starting to pile up for Kentucky in this game.
Got them both. That cuts the lead back to 4 with just over 3 to go.
Now, Brad, I will say this. You can be tired if you're a player on the floor right now. You cannot play tired, especially the point guard spot. Wilbekin and Harrison, they cannot have one tired possession physically or mentally. The bigger the game, the bigger the moment, the more impactful your point guard play will be.
Eight on the shot clock. Frazier, they've held him in check for the most part. Kentucky has this half. Prather, kind of a wild shot over Cauley Stein. And timeout taken after the rebound.
I think it's a shot clock, Brad. It never hit the iron.
officials are the ones that took the timeout.
I don't believe it ever hit the iron, and before Kentucky could really get possession of it, the shot clock goes to 0. That's what it was.
Yep. So took away maybe a transition for Kentucky, but they still get the basketball.
Patrick Young has 4 fouls. Test him defensively for 1 possession at least. Drag him up into a ball screen, make him cover it.
Harrison, Aaron Harrison in, up and under, 2-point game again.
A good job of Harrison to recognize Patrick Young with 4 fouls. If he can get going downhill, go all the way to the rim. No reason for a floater or a pull-up.
Bounce pass is a beauty to Young, and he got it off the window.
He had to
Wilbekin put that pass right where it had to be.
Didn't he, though? Because if it's not there, the quickness, the recovery speed of Kentucky erases an automatic 2. Pass on time, on target, Young up and in.
Cauley-Stein, here comes, well, he took 1 bounce and then didn't press Patrick Young. Instead, he got it out to James Young. Speaking of Young, the freshman Wildcats are within 1 again. Prather had it ripped away, loose ball, Randall's got it. Tie up, gives it to Kentucky.
You're trying to take down a senior team in Florida. You better fight your guts out for 2 hours, and I think Kentucky has done that. There's a drive by Harrison, knowing that Patrick Young is not going to come over. And look where the pass is delivered, Brad, just above waist level. So all Young has to do is get it up and in because of the threat of the recovery speed of Kentucky around the rim. James Young answers. He made a guarded shot, and ball game in the SEC championship on Selection Sunday. Exactly what both teams needed. Kentucky needed to prove to themselves, if nothing else, that they can hang in with the nation's best with the NCAA tournament starting, and Florida needed to be tested. Florida did not need to win this game by 20, and Billy Donovan knows it. He's okay right now where this team is.
1 to play, 1-point game. Young. Out of bounds to Kentucky. Last touch by Florida. There's 15 seconds remaining on the shot clock.
I take a timeout if I'm Calipari with a young team.
He just called it.
Yeah,
Florida is 14-2 in single-digit games this year. And they are 4-1 in games that were 3 points or less. Last year, that wasn't the story. They were 0 for 6 in those situations a year ago. So last year, that was a trouble spot. This year, they've been able to dig deep and find a way. Kentucky's ball, though. As they pull it out, 10 on the shot clock. Andrew Harrison going to work, 5 to shoot. Kentucky's never led. And now a 1-point lead for Florida with a shot clock off. Going to have to foul Wilbekin.
I think Calipari got exactly what he wanted. He didn't bring a ball screen action up because Florida is as good as anybody in the country, Brad, when you bring the second defender into the play. He wanted Harrison to attack the side of Patrick Young, knowing that no help was going to come. He got a pretty good look, but then Dorian Finney-Smith, who's their best rebounder off the bench, comes up with a big one.
You're thinking free throws, not the case, not in the bonus situation yet. It was only the 5th foul on Kentucky in the half. So now Florida's got to inbound right in front of the Wildcats bench. And it will be Finney-Smith, the trigger man.
And getting a straight line and break off a different angle. Just go get the ball. Someone has to be that competitive.
And they'll foul Casey Hill, so that's foul number 6. That's 4 on Young. When they foul this time, we're heading to the free throw line. Same setup, Same guy that triggered in. They wanted Wilbekin's hands, and that's where they got it this time. And whoa, he's more than bumped. Andrew Harrison's going to help pick him up, but that one almost ended up in press row over there.
Just a basketball play. Hard foul, but just a basketball play.
Doug Shaw's one of our officials, taking the charge pretty well right there. And now 23 seconds remaining, and they're going to have a look at the foul on the monitor over there. Tony Green with a headset on. Doug Shaw's, who just took that shot over there in front of the table.
I didn't see anything other than a hard common foul. He's reaching in for the ball with his right hand. I know he gets the body hard, and guys get tangled up and go down, but
I think part of the issue was Scotty knew he was going to get fouled, but he's trying to keep from running the ref over. Whoops. I think we're just going to send Scotty Wilbekin to the free throw line, and that's it.
just a hard common foul. They're holding up and talking about it, so it's not as clear cut in their minds maybe as what you and I see, but
1-1, Tony Green says. That's what it should be. Doug just basically told us that, Jimmy and I. We have pretty good sign language with him. Well, there's a guy that's the SEC Player of the Year. I don't know how many huge free throws he's hit this year, but there's been a bunch of them. He's got a 1-on-1 right now.
I trust his toughness more than his stroke at this point. I know he's a 74% free throw shooter, but he's the toughest guy in this league, if not one of the top 5 toughest guys in college ball. I trust him right now at that strike.
He missed 2 in the first half as he put that out of his mind. No, maybe not. Rebound, Finney-Smith, and a foul.
And that's on Julius Randle. Julius Randle saying, I got pushed from behind. But this is big boy basketball at a big boy moment. And Julius Randle had inside position. And you have to step in and knock the legs out of the guy above you. And Randle didn't let it happen. Watch Julius Randle on the bottom. He doesn't step in and completely just wear out Dorian Finney-Smith. And again, the best rebounder for Florida comes down with a loose ball.
Finney-Smith's first trip to the free throw line. And he misses as well. Kentucky's got the rebound. They've got a chance to win it.
Cal has 2 timeouts. I'd use another one. That's exactly, you know, there's be a lot of people say, let him play, but this is a young team. And it continues to be a teaching moment every possession that he has left with this young Kentucky team the remainder of this season.
14 seconds remaining. There's the foul situation. Each team with a timeout left. Possession arrow is Florida's. Kentucky's going to have the basketball. We'll see who they bring out for the 5. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same guys they had out there before that timeout was called.
Patrick Young still with 4 fouls. So what did Kentucky do last time? They went at Patrick Young knowing that he's going to be a little bit hesitant, probably rotating over with authority. As John Calipari runs similar action, I'm not big now on ball screen action because Florida, that's who they are. They define ball screen in the college game, and their ball screen defense is terrific. Does he trust Andrew Harrison maybe to just go one-on-one with a 1-4 flat and get in the lane and try to make a play?
61-60. Last year, Florida let a 12-point lead in the championship game slide through their fingers. Will they let a 16-point lead in this half slide through their fingers? And can Kentucky somehow come from behind and win the trophy? Final seconds.
Now this is what it is, one-on-one, best on best.
Andrew Harrison to Young. Young slipped, lost the ball, and Florida survives. Kentucky doesn't get a shot off, and the Gators are the Southeastern Conference tournament champions.
Kentucky Wildcats 16.
Kentucky had the opportunity at the end to not only take the lead for the first time today, but take the title as well, and they didn't get a shot away.
Yeah, the game plan was good. The execution was not. Drive the ball at the right side towards James Young so, Brad, he can catch it going to his right shoulder as a left-handed kid. But look at Scotty Wilbekin. The stance, the base, the balance. James Young goes down, and so does Kentucky's hopes of taking down the #1 team.
For the first time since 2007, the Gators under Billy